Hi guys, I am John from insulationforless.co.uk, and right now we're going to have a look at the insulated plasterboard. This board is very similar to the Celotex PL4000, also very similar to the Ecotherm Ecoliner. These boards come in various thicknesses from 29mm right up to 102.5mm. So for instance, you have a 29mm, 37.5mm, 52.5mm, 62.5mm, and so on in 10mm increments right up to 102.5. Thicker boards can be manufactured on request, but these would be special order, so you need to ring in advance for that. The makeup of this board is generally a gyprock plasterboard on one side with a polyiso board on the other side. So again, this is very similar to the Celotex PL4000, the Ecotherm Ecoliner and the Warmline. Other variants of this board are available with a gyprock plasterboard with EPS, XPS, or even a phenolic insulation on the side. But for now, we're going to look at the polyiso version. For fixing this board onto your wall, you will generally use a mushroom fixing, a metal mushroom fixing. So you would drill in with an 8mm mechanical drill bit in through your board and into your block wall in behind it. Then you would use a hammer-in fixing, your hammer-in metal mushroom fixing, which I'll show you in a few moments in more detail. Hammer that into the board and into the wall. Generally we would recommend about 15 fixings per board, but again, it's no harm to have a look at the manufacturer's data sheet, which is on our website, insulationforless.co.uk, to get a full breakdown of how many mechanical fixings they recommend per board. You can also dot and dab these boards, so you can stick them to the wall using a bonding compound, so your plaster would do that for you. We do also recommend that you would use some fixings, some metal mushroom fixings again, just to double secure the board in place. It's also quite similar to the K17 or K18 Kingspan board, but it's not a phenolic, it's a polyiso board. Each board is 1.2 meters high by 2.4 meters wide, which is 2.88 square meters. So it covers 2.88 square meters per board. So if you know how long your wall is, all you do is just work out the square meters of your wall and divide that by 2.88, and it'll tell you how many boards you need. Generally, this board is used internally on external walls and does make a massive difference to the performance of your home when it is installed correctly. Also, these boards are quite heavy, can be difficult to handle, and it is advisable to have somebody on site the day these boards are due to arrive. If it's windy outside and one person is trying to unload these boards, they can break. So it is recommended that you have somebody there to assist in offload. They are a little bit heavy also, so having a second person there is a great help. If you have any questions at all in relation to these boards, please feel free to add your questions into the comments box below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on our website, insulationforless.co.uk, please feel free to pick up the phone and give us a call.
Okay, here we can see a close-up on the metal mushroom fixing. This requires an 8mm drill bit to drill in through your plasterboard and insulation and into your block wall. So you can see at the end of that fixing there are some ridges to allow it to get a grip into the wall also. Here you can also see the makeup of the board. So you have your gyprock plasterboard, and then you have your polyiso insulation then attached to that. And here you can see that this board is ready to be mechanically fixed or dot and dabbed onto your wall. Again, either an EPS, XPS, polyiso, which is this board, or even a phenolic can be used attached to this plasterboard. It's then just mechanically fixed or dot and dabbed onto your wall.